Hello everyone, DG90's here with something new. This time, it's a new mini-series where I will be talking about my personal thoughts and experiences with the franchises that I grew up with as a kid and as a teenager. When it comes to the video game franchises that I grew up with as a kid, I grew up mostly with the PlayStation series, and I like some of its mascots like Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, and Sly Cooper. But I also like the third-party mascots like Chrome Studios' Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. However, there is one franchise that has been around longer than my other favorite mascots, so long that it wasn't started as a video game, and that would be Godzilla. I can't remember what year exactly I was into Godzilla, but I do remember getting into this franchise at a young age when I was at a friend's house. He asked me if I knew Godzilla, but I took no for an answer. I don't exactly remember if he showed me Godzilla through a video game or a film. But after that day, I was into Godzilla ever since. For the films, I only watched a handful of them. The movies I can remember from the top of my head at the time as a kid are Godzilla vs. Gigan and Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. For Godzilla vs. Gigan, it was cool to see Godzilla, Anguirus, Gigan, and King Ghidorah duking it out in an amusement park that was disguised as a base for a race of aliens. And they built that one Godzilla structure that was actually designed as a weapon. The human scenes, like for every Godzilla film, I didn't really care about that much since they do tend to drag, but although I did like the scene with the humans making the alien cockroaches reveal themselves from their human disguises. The one thing that actually surprised me, but I was actually laughing all the way through, was when Godzilla and Anguirus were talking through their minds with some sort of scratching record player sound effects playing in the background.
Something funny going on. You better check. Oh, yeah. Hurry up. Hey, Aguila, come on. There's a lot of trouble ahead.
The blood in the movie is something I wasn't expecting at all, but even though it was bloody, I have seen other franchises having more blood and gore than Godzilla. Anyways, Godzilla vs. Gigan was a good movie, but again, the human scenes were meh. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla was a very strange one. Mechagodzilla being disguised as Godzilla, it fought Anguirus, which it ripped his jaws open like King Kong, then Mechagodzilla revealing itself like a Terminator, firing so many projectiles at Godzilla, and after that battle, Godzilla being struck by lightning, one woman singing a song to release King Caesar from his slumber, a group of humans taking out a race of alien gorillas disguised as humans, Mechagodzilla being the shit out of King Caesar, Godzilla raised from the ocean and fought Mechagodzilla once again, Godzilla bleeding from a number of attacks Mechagodzilla threw at him, Godzilla using himself as a magnet to pull Mechagodzilla towards him, and Godzilla twisting MG's head off. It was actually a blast watching that film. To be honest, I have seen the 98 American film, and at first, I sort of liked it, but nowadays, I really do hate it. For Godzilla fans out there, they already know why the movie sucks ass, but for those who don't, I'll be linking a few videos in the description below. I have saw Final Wars years later, and for the final movie before his return in 2014, it was good. This film was sort of a second Destroy All Monster movie, although Orga and Megagyros were missing from the lineup. Not only the monster fights were good, but this is like Toho's only film that a majority of human characters actually have fight scenes, and they're pretty good. I have saw the 2014 movie made by Legendary Pictures, and I thought the movie was good, but although I'll admit that I do have to agree with those who thought there was less focus on Godzilla and the Muto monster and more focus on the humans, but still better than the 98 remake. I am aware of the 2016 movie made by Toho, which I have yet to see. It's funny that Toho were to make another reboot after the release of Legendary's take on the monster in 2014. But although this one makes sense since Godzilla has been on a long hiatus after the 2004 movie Final Wars, not counting the cameo in 2007's Always Sunset on 3rd Street 2. Besides from the 3 films, along with the 98 remake and 2014 reboot, I only watched the others through James Rolfe's Monster Madness Godzillathon. Anyways, on to the video games. The first Godzilla game I ever played was Pipeworks Software's Godzilla Save the Earth. I remember renting this game at a store that used to be around until 2010, known as Hollywood Video. I kept on renting it because it was a great game to me, until I bought it somewhere years later. It was fun beating the other monsters in action mode, versus, and melee modes. I did like some of the monsters like Destroya, Space Godzilla, Mega Godzilla 3, and more. I also liked the concept art of the game, and the art that was advertising Godzilla Final Wars. It wasn't until years later that I found out there were monsters, stages, and a storyline planned for the game, but due to other reasons they were scrapped. But I'll talk about the content of this game in a different video. The challenges in this game are okay, although there are a few that I personally like. For example, Replicator. This is the challenge where you have to destroy the replication machine that's making Mecha King Ghidorah invulnerable to your attacks. It can generate 2 clones of himself. Another favorite I like are these rarer levels. One takes place underwater where you play as Godzilla 2000, and your objective is to take out some Vortex submarine ship, but Ebra would be the first boss before taking out the submarine. The other railer would be in space playing as Mogira, and you have to take out Space Godzilla as the boss. There are a few more, like one where you had to destroy the UFOs that tried to destroy the pyramid building. And the last example would be Monster Bowling. This is where you have to knock out the 3 monsters, usually it's Gigan, Megalon, and Anguirus, with giant boulders. I sometimes like to cheat in the game by using my breath attack. So yeah, Godzilla Save the Earth, the first Godzilla game I ever played, and it's still one of my most favorite Godzilla games to play as of now, and it will be in the future. Godzilla Domination for the Game Boy Advance. The same person who introduced me into Godzilla was the same one who introduced me into this GBA game. Despite liking Save the Earth more, I really liked this game. I loved all the levels except for those mean challenges where you had to either jump out of the way, or blow up the planes, or destroying a line of UFOs without them crashing to you. I find them not my cup of tea. But despite them, I did like the fights. Although I was bummed out there were only 6 monsters in the game. Godzilla, King Ghidorah, Mega Godzilla, Mothra, Megalon, and Rodan. All of the music in this game is really wonderful. None of them I actually hate. The final boss, Mecha King Ghidorah, I really didn't get at first why he was bigger than your character, but now I really don't care because it's just the programmer's decision to do that. At first, I really didn't know how to beat him, but sometime after that, I got the hang of it. The monster I used to defeat him with the most is King Ghidorah because it was fun to keep tapping the B button for him to do his claw attack while in midair. I used to play this game at my friend's house all the time until he allowed me to keep it. So, Godzilla Domination, for what it is, it's a very decent game. At the time, I thought this, along with Godzilla Domination, were the only Godzilla games. But that's when I discovered this game, Godzilla Unleashed. I was surprised when I found out this game was made by the same people who did Save the Earth. The commercial for it was really weird when I first saw it back then. In fact, here's the commercial for Unleashed.
Rated everyone 10 and up.
Available now for the PlayStation 2 system, coming soon for Wii.
I thought Godzilla Unleashed was a good game. It plays like Save the Earth, but with some sort of update to it. Although this was the PS2 version. The Wii and DS versions I have never played. The Wii version I really want to play because not only it had more monsters than the PS2 version, which I didn't like how it only had Obsidious and Batra as the only new characters, but it did have some good gameplay. different from the PS2 version, although I did like the old Save the Earth gameplay for Unleashed. The DS version, called Double Smash, looked like a fucking piece of garbage by gameplay and visual graphics. Anyways, I did like the story to Unleashed, better than the one in Godzilla Save the Earth, because the one in Save the Earth was meh. I really do like how they had 3 endings to this game. One with Earth Defenders GTF, one with the Vortac aliens, and one for the mutants. About Obsidius and Batra, as much as I like them in the PS2 version, I really hate the fact that they're both moveset clones of Orga and Mothra. For Batra, I should have expected this one since Batra is Mothra's doppelganger, but Obsidius to me had no reason to even have the same type of moveset as Orga. He could have had his own moveset. Anyways, another problem I do have for Unleashed is that, unlike Save the Earth, no matter what you do, and I'm not for sure this implies with the Wii version, is that if you're playing the game with a friend, you can't have your friend as an ally. I find that bullshit because you can do that with Save the Earth. Another problem I do find annoying is that every time you try to grab an enemy and throw them, or use one of the special grab moves that can knock your opponent further, in this game, they'll stay where you at. What the fucking hell? When did Pipeworks software decide to program that instead of knocking the opponent further and save the Earth? The stages for Unleashed were pretty good. I really don't have a favorite to choose since, as I said before, they're all good. So, Godzilla Unleashed. I like the game, but I personally enjoyed Save the Earth more due to some of the problems I had with the game. Mostly the PS2 version. After Unleashed, those were the only games I had played. As for the game that came before Save the Earth and Unleashed, Destroy All Monsters Melee, the first of the Atari/Pipeworks software trilogy of Godzilla games, I had never played this game, but I had looked up gameplay of it, and it plays like Save the Earth, which I don't mind. If I would ever like to play this game in the future, I would like to play the Xbox version because it has one additional monster that the GameCube doesn't have, and that would be Mega Godzilla 3. Godzilla, Monster of Monsters. I had never played this game, and I never will, because it just doesn't look like my cup of tea. Super Godzilla. I only played this on an emulator, and to be honest, I beat this game with cheats, because I can. The only battle I like the most in Super Godzilla is Godzilla vs. Baggin. The gameplay to this game was odd, but it was something cool for this game. The other Godzilla games like Godzilla Generations for the Dreamcast, Train Battle for the PlayStation, and many others I haven't heard, I have never played. However, some years later, I actually found this really awesome fan-made flash game called Godzilla Taikaiju Battle Royale. I first played this game back at high school when I was a junior there. It's still an awesome game. I do like how this game has more monsters than my 2 other favorite Godzilla games, Save the Earth and Domination. And I do like how the developer, Alex Murdoch, added in some other design versions of already established characters. The character with the most incarnations is Godzilla himself. There is one monster that sparked my interest a bit, and that would be Glacies. It's an original monster created by the developer of the game that can actually summon a beam that freezes monsters from its tail. The only thing that I feel like it's off a bit is the beam doesn't have any sound effects. It would be cool if it were to have some sort of sound effects, but what we got is fine, I guess. I was interested with Glacies is because that, well, it's always interesting with a new monster being ported to either a Godzilla movie or a Godzilla game, either fan-made or canon by Toho or some other developer. Anyways, I didn't bother with the story mode because I was more into fighting one-on-one with picking any monster in the game. I actually like typing in this one cheat code which will unlock all the monsters for you, like that one cheat code I like to use in Save the Earth. This game can update from time to time, like for example, back when I was first playing it, I never seen Muto and Godzilla 2014 in there, but sometime later, I'm not for sure when exactly, they were in the game. I actually can't wait to see what new monsters will be implemented to the game in the future. Overall, compared to Save the Earth, Domination, and Unleashed, this is my second favorite game. I really don't care that this fighting game is in 2D, unlike Save the Earth and Unleashed, which were in 3D. I'm still glad it's a fighting game, and I really don't have that many problems with the game, unlike Unleashed. There's actually one more game I almost forgot to mention, and that would be Bandai Namco's attempt on the Monster as a PlayStation exclusive. I'm going to be honest, at first, I really wanted to try out this game when I first heard it and saw trailers for it, but after watching James and Mike's Let's Play of it on their Monday series, I really decided to stay away from it, mostly because the game's gameplay looks so blah. And I really hate the fact that you had to connect it to the PS Plus in order to play online. Plus, you can't play with a friend. That right there is just a slap to the face to me. For those who disagree with me about this game, I understand you like it. I respect your opinion, and I'm not going to stop you from liking it. But for me, it just looks bleh. So, that concludes my retrospective on Godzilla. Nowadays, I'm always waiting for a new game or a movie from either Toho or some new developer. There might be a game or two I might skip due to not either having the money or just lost interest with it. So that's about it. This is DG90's signing out, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace!